Hello, my name is Kyler Bullard, and today I'll be sharing the results of my Clifton Strengths 34 assessment. The purpose of this presentation is twofold. First, to reflect on my top strengths and understand how they shape the way I connect with others, solve problems, and approach leadership. Secondly, to identify areas of growth based on my lesser strengths and consider strategies to improve them for a more balanced leadership approach. As someone who is committed to self improvement and effective leadership, I believe it is essential to know not only what we are naturally good at, but also where we can challenge ourselves to grow. The insight gained from this assessment helped me better understand how to lead from a place of authenticity while also working toward becoming more well rounded and adaptive in diverse environments. Through this presentation, I hope to share a clear picture of how my strengths influence my style and how I plan to use this knowledge to make a meaningful impact on both my career and the lives of those I work with. As I reflect on how my strengths shape my leadership style, it becomes clear that I lead best through connection, trust, and emotional intelligence. Relator allows me to build deep and meaningful relationships with those I work with. I am not someone who thrives on surface level interactions. I prefer authenticity and mutual trust. As a leader, this helps create a team culture where people feel seen and understood. It also helps me lead through influence rather than authority. Empathy enables me to sense how others are feeling. Even if they don't say it out loud, this strength allows me to support at the right moments. I believe this contributes to a more emotionally safe environment where team members feel comfortable expressing concerns and being themselves. Individualization empowers me to recognize and celebrate the unique talents and personalities of each individual on my team. Rather than trying to lead with a one size fits all approach, I am intentional about assigning tasks, offering feedback, and mentoring in ways that align with each person's strength. Adaptability makes me a steady presence in uncertain situations. As a leader, this flexibility encourages innovation and problem solving. Achiever gives me the drive and stamina to consistently deliver high performance. My energy and commitment can serve as a powerful motivator to others, inspiring a strong work ethic and a sense of purpose across the team. These top five strengths fall primarily within the relationship building domain, which indicates that I thrive on connection and collaboration. My secondary domain is strategic thinking, while not prominently in my top five, supports planning and insight. Together, these strengths position me to build strong teams and make thoughtful decisions. My strengths allow me to connect deeply with team members and foster trust. Relator and empathy help me to build morale and resolve conflict with emotional intelligence. Individualization allows me to assign roles and responsibility based on each person's strengths. Adaptability supports flexible leadership in dynamic environments. Achiever keeps me driven and encourages a strong work ethic in those I lead. These strengths enable me to lead through inspiration, trust, and connection. My bottom five themes are areas where I may not naturally operate. Consistency and responsibility suggest I may resist routine and strict structure, preferring flexibility instead. Context indicates that I focus more on the present and future than the past. Communication and woo show that I prefer deep relationships over broad social interactions and might find public speaking or networking more challenging. My bottom two domains are executing and influencing. This means I may need to be a bit more intentional about creating structured process and asserting my voice in group settings. These are areas I can develop to become a more balanced leader. While my strengths form the core of how I naturally lead, I also recognize the importance of developing in areas where I am less inclined. My bottom themes include those in the executing and influencing domains, specifically consistency, responsibility, context, communication, and woo. Understanding these as growth areas, not as weaknesses, gives me the opportunity to evolve into a more dynamic and well-rounded leader. Executing domain, consistency, and responsibility. These themes are often about structure, fairness, and follow through. While I may naturally prefer flexibility over rigid routines, I see the value in adding more structure to my leadership style. For consistency, I can work on creating standardized processes or workflows that help maintain fairness and reduce ambiguity within the team. Using project management tools or standard operating procedures can ensure everyone knows what to expect. To strengthen responsibility, I can set clear goals and accountability checkpoints, not only for myself but for my team as well. Building in time for reflection and follow-up ensures commitments are honored and fosters trust in my reliability as a leader. Strategic thinking domain, context. While I tend to focus more on the present and future, the context theme reminds me of the power of learning from the past. I can become more intentional about documenting lessons learned after projects and reviewing past outcomes before starting new initiatives. Seeking mentorship or historical case studies in my field could also help me integrate this strength by adding historical perspectives to my decision making. Influencing domain, communication, and woo. These themes are essential for leaders who need to inspire, inform, and influence. Communication is not just about talking, it's about clearly and effectively conveying ideas. To strengthen this, I plan to practice storytelling techniques, use feedback to define my message, and seek out opportunities to speak and present in both formal and informal settings. Joining a speaking group like Toastmasters or practicing short elevator pitches could help build comfort in this area. With Woo, I recognize that initiating contact and expanding social networks can be uncomfortable, especially since I prefer depth over breadth in relationships. However, I know as a leader, being able to make quick connections is valuable. To grow in this area, I can challenge myself to attend professional events, reach out to new colleagues, or simply engage in more informal conversations to build rapport. As I reflect on this assessment, what stands out most is how well my natural talents align with a leadership style rooted in empathy, adaptability, and deep human connection. These strengths not only define how I show up in the workplace, they also shape how I support, inspire, and collaborate with others. The relationship building domain is clearly where I thrive. My ability to connect with others on a meaningful level helps me build cohesive teams and strong workplace cultures. Whether it's through relator, empathy, or individualization, I understand people and I appreciate the uniqueness each person brings to a team. This allows me to build trust and foster psychological safety, both of which are critical in today's diverse and dynamic healthcare environments. Adaptability enables me to remain calm and solution focused in times of stress or change. It allows me to adjust my leadership style based on the moment and the people involved. An important skill in any fast paced profession, especially healthcare. Achiever reminds me that while I lead with compassion, I also bring structure, drive, and results oriented mindset. I value productivity. I hold myself and others to a high standard, always striving to do better. But leadership isn't just about leveraging strengths, it's also about awareness of blind spots and being willing to grow. My development areas, especially within the executing and influencing domains, give me the opportunity to build habits around structure, accountability, and communication. By taking proactive steps to develop in those areas, I can round out my leadership skill set and become a more effective leader. In conclusion, this assessment has reinforced that I am compassionate, insightful, and a growth minded leader. I lead with authenticity and heart, and I'm committed to expanding my leadership potential through intentional development, self reflection, and continuous learning. I don't strive for perfection, I strive for progress and for the ability to inspire others to grow alongside me. Thank you so much for listening.